Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries is an intergovernmental organization headquartered in Vienna, Austria. OPEC was founded by 5 petroleum exporting nations at a conference held 10–14 September 1960 in Baghdad, Iraq. The formation of OPEC represented a collective act of sovereignty, and marked a turning point towards state control over natural resources. At a time when the international oil market was largely dominated by a group of multinational companies known as the Seven Sisters. In the 1960s, OPEC ensured that oil companies could not unilaterally cut prices. OPEC's mission is to coordinate and unify the petroleum policies of its member countries and ensure the stabilization of oil markets. In order to secure an efficient, economic and regular supply of petroleum to consumers, a steady income to producers, and a fair return on capital for those investing in the petroleum industry. As of December 2015, OPEC has 13 members: Algeria, Angola, Ecuador, Indonesia, Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Libya, Nigeria, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Venezuela. Their oil ministers normally meet twice per year. As of 2014, approximately 3/4 of the world's proven oil reserves were located in OPEC member countries, and 2/3 of OPEC's reserves were located in its 6 Middle Eastern countries that border the oil-rich Persian Gulf. According to the United States Energy Information Administration, OPEC crude oil production is an important factor affecting global oil prices. The effect can be particularly strong when wars or insurrections lead to interruptions in supply. After major disruptions in the 1970s, OPEC started setting production targets for its member nations, and generally, when OPEC production targets are reduced, oil prices increase. Within the sovereign territories, the national governments of OPEC members are able to impose production limits on both government-owned and private oil companies. In December 2014, OPEC and the oil men ranked as number 3 on Lloyd's list of the top 100 most influential people in the shipping industry, although their dominance is periodically challenged by the expansion of non-OPEC energy sources, and by the recurring temptation for individual OPEC members to exceed their production ceilings. Membership. Current members. As of January 2016, OPEC has 13 member countries, 6 in the Middle East, 1 in Southeast Asia, 4 in Africa, 2 in South America. Their combined rate of oil production represents approximately 40% of the world's total. ABCDE. One of the 5 founding members that attended the first OPEC conference, in September 1960. In October 2015, Sudan formally submitted an application to join OPEC. Approval of a new member country requires agreement by 3/4 of the existing members, including all 5 of the founders. Former members. Some commentators consider that the United States was a de facto member during its formal occupation of Iraq due to its leadership of the Coalition Provisional Authority. But this is not borne out by the minutes of OPEC meetings, as no U.S. representative attended in an official capacity. Leadership and decision-making. The OPEC conference is the supreme authority of the organization, and consists of delegations normally headed by the oil ministers of member countries. The chief executive of the organization is the OPEC Secretary General. The conference usually meets at the Vienna headquarters, at least twice a year, and in additional extraordinary sessions whenever required. It generally operates on the principles of unanimity and one member, one vote, with each country paying an equal membership fee into the annual budget. However, since Saudi Arabia is by far the largest and most profitable oil exporter in the world, with enough capacity to function as the swing producer to balance the global market, it serves as OPEC's de facto leader. publications and research. In April 2001, OPEC collaborated with 5 other international organizations to improve the availability and reliability of oil data. They launched the Joint Oil Data Exercise, which in 2005 was joined by IEF and renamed the Joint Organizations Data Initiative, covering more than 90% of the global oil market. GECF joined as an 8th partner in 2014, enabling JODI also to cover nearly 90% of the global market for natural gas. Since 2007, OPEC has published the World Oil Outlook annually, in which it presents a comprehensive analysis of the global oil industry including medium and long-term projections for supply and demand. Crude oil benchmarks. A crude oil benchmark is a standardized petroleum product that serves as a convenient reference price for buyers and sellers of crude oil. Benchmarks are used because oil prices differ based on variety, grade, delivery date and location, and other legal requirements. The OPEC reference basket of crudes is an important benchmark for crude oil prices. It is currently calculated as a weighted average of prices for 12 petroleum blends from OPEC member countries: Saharan Blend, Duracell, Oriente, Iran Heavy, Basra Light, Kuwait Export, Cider, Bonny Light, Qatar Marine, Arab Light, Murban, and Marie. North Sea Brent crude oil is the leading benchmark for Atlantic Basin crude oils, and is used to price approximately 2/3 of the world's traded crude oil. Other well-known benchmarks are West Texas Intermediate, Dubai Crude, Oman Crude, and Urals Oil. Spare capacity. The U.S. Energy Information Administration, the statistical arm of the U.S. Department of Energy, defines spare capacity for crude oil market management as the volume of production that can be brought on within 30 days and sustained for at least 90 days. OPEC's spare capacity provides an indicator of the world oil market's ability to respond to potential crises that reduce oil supplies. In November 2014, the International Energy Agency estimated that OPEC's effective spare capacity was 3.5 million barrels per day and that this number would increase to a peak in 2017 of 4.6 million barrels per day.